A blue tit touches the automated perch, and the reader, under its feet, catches the RFID tag before the body has even settled. A hatch opens. The bird takes its reward. Then the device changes state. Not forever, not randomly, but for 2 hours. On the screen, a depletion clock starts ticking, and 3 thin traces light up at once. What was here, where it happened, and how long ago it worked. That is the setup. Not dramatic, not loud, almost boring. And yet, this ordinary backyard rig is doing something far more structured than it looks. In this kind of experiment, the feeder is not just a tray. It becomes a living, temporal database that birds actively write to with each visit. The perch records the tag, the machine can choose access, and the animal has to link the result back to place and elapsed time. In plain English, the bird is not simply learning. This location pays off. That would be easy. It is learning. This location paid off recently, so coming back too soon may waste energy. That is episodic-like memory in its stripped-down form. What? Where? How long ago? A single successful visit leaves a mark that doesn't fade the way a random food find would. On the blueprint, the yard is reduced to clean shapes: fence edge, shrub mass, feeder pin, and a dotted route from the back door. Nothing looks alive yet, until the first neural barcode lights up. A great tit lands. A blue tit lands a little later. The machine offers one reward type at one site, then a different reward type at a nearby site. Each visit becomes more than contact with a perch. It becomes an entry inside a bird's brain, a personal event log with precise timestamps, locations, and reward types. The phrasing sounds mechanical because the behavior is mechanical. Not empty reflex, not vague attraction, a structured entry. Now, flip the scale. What looks like simple hunger is actually rule-based recall. In episodic-like memory tests, the animal is not asked to tell a story. It is asked to act as if it remembers the structure of an event. Which reward appeared? Which feeder held it? How much time has passed since access changed? The answer comes through movement, not language. On screen, the glowing pins do not all mean the same thing. One pin means recently emptied. One means still worth testing. One means wrong reward type for this time slot. The dotted route is no longer a wandering path. It is a decision sequence. This matters because the memory does not need a human-style inner movie to be powerful. It only needs link detail: what, where, and elapsed time. Put those together, and the yard becomes predictable enough to budget effort against. That is the core mechanism hiding under the perch. These small birds update expectations after a single experience and act on it hours later without rechecking. Inside the small bird's head, the hippocampus is not a decorative shape. It is the part that grows fuller across the season, then lights up in barcode bursts whenever a provider event happens. A refill. A pause. A shift in access. The yard becomes readable because those events stop sitting in isolation. Your steady movements turn into a predictable entry on their foraging calendar. That is the real integration step. The animal is not only sensing that food appeared, it is linking what was available, where it showed up, and when it arrived relative to the last visit. A feeder on the same line of sight. A path that stays open. A refill that tends to land on schedule. Each piece sharpens the next choice. Here is the part that shifts the entire feeder dynamic. The brain is not storing a vague impression of a safe place. It is updating a risk-reward model in real time. If the interval is usually short, the expected payoff rises. If the feeder stays empty longer than normal, the value drops. If the access point changes, the prediction changes with it. Fast. The barcode firing on screen makes that easy to picture. One pulse for the location, one for the timing, one for the outcome. Together, they form a compact record the bird can pull up later without relearning the whole scene. In plain terms, the animal stops treating your yard like luck and starts treating it like a mapped schedule. The feeder is no longer a random hit. It becomes a scheduled resource they plan around. At the feeder, memory is not a flash of recognition. It is a layered record. One event says what happened. Another says where it happened. Another tags when it happened, in the season, in the day, in the cycle of returns. Put those together, and the yard stops being a random patch of ground. It becomes a stable node in their cognitive map, and the mind keeps a Manila-style dossier on it, complete with timeline cards, safety check marks, and faint replay lines from past approaches. To put that longevity in perspective, this is not a short-lived impression fading by dusk. The archive can survive weather, gaps, and repetition. A location that paid off in spring can still matter in late summer. A safe approach that worked yesterday can still bias the next decision weeks later. And if another individual watches that outcome, the template can spread through the group without anyone needing a full explanation. The responding, each calm landing adds another checkmark. Each hesitation leaves a thin replay line behind it, as if the past is still hovering at the edge of the frame. The feeder is no longer just a spot. It is a stored decision, revised over time. So the real question is not whether the memory exists. It is how many seasons it has been allowed to harden. Interactions from weeks or seasons ago still shape their choice to approach or wait. At the refill hour, the yard starts arranging itself before anything dramatic happens. One finch takes the same outer branch. A cardinal holds the rail, angled toward the feeder. A chickadee lands higher up, close enough to see the tray, far enough to leave fast. This is where the translation becomes visible in real time. They aren't reacting to seed alone. They're running stored what, where, when data against the current scene. What happened here before? Where the safe perch was? Which part of the day usually brought access? In plain English, these are birds treating your routine as reliable code inside their survival software. The branch isn't just a branch anymore. It's a waiting position. The feeder isn't just hardware. It's the output zone. The click of the latch, the tilt of the container, the return of weight in the tube. Each cue becomes a line the system can execute. On screen, the replay overlays would look almost too clean. Pale arcs from last week's approach. Dim traces from earlier refills. Bright marks snapping from old events to current bodies on current branches. The past isn't behind them. It's being queried. That's the practical part. Memory changes the timing of arrival. It changes which perch gets used first. It changes how long a bird waits before committing. It even changes how quickly the whole yard shifts from caution to access. You think the action starts at the feeder. It starts earlier. Every refill you do is feeding them and being logged by them at the same time. On the clean yard map, the feeder sits between the door path and the branch line, like a live switch. Bidirectional scan lines pulse back and forth, not as decoration, but as evidence. Your schedule leaves a trace. Their arrival leaves one too. What Where, when is doing the work here, what was available, where it happened, and when it tended to happen again. This is where the translation becomes visible in real time. Stand by the window tomorrow and watch the timing align. Notice which par fills first, which branch gets reused, how long the hesitation lasts before the first drop. Then, shift the refill by a few minutes and watch the map update. Not in theory, in behavior. That's the feeder as a two-way memory interface between human schedule and avian cognition. The yard stops being background. It becomes an active record. The door path, the tray, the perches, the pauses between them, all of it is read, compared, and reused. Clean, quiet, exact. If you want the simplest test, do the same refill twice and compare the arrival rhythm. Then do it again with one small delay. The pattern will answer back. The system has been running quietly every morning you step outside.